Jorge versus Marcus. We've got a Mega Feraligatr, Mega Aerodactyl team on Jorge's side. Marcus running the Mega Charizard X.
The Feraligatr. The spotlight has been on it. All this discussion build up for good reason. It is a threat. It does have Dragon Dance and Liquidation alongside the double edge. So over on Marcus's side, Charizard X, trained to be adamant. It also has Dragon Dance, Dragon Claw, which genuinely packs such a punch.
Do you know what? I'm not sure if Jorge's going to lean into the Mega Feraligatr as much in this match, but I would like to see it coming out, getting the Dragon Dances up in the early game with the Clefable.
Yeah, but we're about to find out. Our trainers are getting into battle. This is going to be the set that defines the rest of their tournament run. Will it end or will it continue? The leads are out, and what do you know, Ben? It's actually the Mega Feraligatr, which,
At least in this turn one, has Jorge on the back foot.
and although Sneasler is going to be the faster fake-out user, so there are a couple of mind games that go into this. Citrus Berry, the item of choice on the Sneasler, which we never see, in all honesty. Maybe a great way to be able to proc that Unburden ability if put within that HP range, as we've got double Mega Dragons now on the field. Sneasler goes first into the Charizard. Is going to be a follow-up from the Incineroar to the Mega Feraligatr, of course it is. So a bit of a stalemate, but like you said, this is the crucial part where Marcus has the speed advantage. Set up Pokemon both on the field. Sneasler did have the choice of going for a coaching setup there, but predominantly seems to be switching out in order for Jorge to go for the Protect. You've got the Clefable now, which is going to be immune to Dragon types, and also has Unaware. Get that redirection going. Seems to be the correct play, given the fact that the Dragon Claw was attempted on the Mega Feraligatr. Now we've got pivot action going from Marcus' side.
Yeah, and if this is the Sneasler in the back, bringing in another fake-out Pokemon, the Protect switch into Clefable looks really great here, because you can redirect those Dragon attacks into the Clefable.
Sure, but that's going to be hitting neutral on the Charizard X, so this may well be a setup for the Charizard to maybe get out of hand.
Okay, fake out going down into the Clefable, so no Protects going on there.
Okay.
And it's just a Dragon Claw. That's great damage into the Sneasler, but that Citrus Berry is activated. And that is going to be activating the Unburden ability as well on this Sneasler, so going to be making it faster than the Charizard, keeping the fake out active, but also getting the Intimidate down onto the Sneasler, which we know is going to stick. Doesn't matter how fast the Sneasler is going if it's not able to pick up those key KOs.
Yeah, and you could easily be going just for the disruption, really, so I don't see anything going wrong too badly, and the fact that Clefable was slower than the Sneasler. Oh, wow,
what a great turn.
That is a lovely, exquisite play there. You have got double Dragon Dance on the line. Ben, if I'm not mistaken, that Feraligatr was able to now position itself with a +1 defense
to a Mega Charizard X Dragon Claw. The answer is probably yes.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it has to be, but that forces Jorge to actually bring in the Clefable now and maybe go for the defensive. But Marcus, is he going to be able to read this? We've seen him do it before.
Dragon Claw going into the Feraligatr, but is this a parting shot? There it is, coming out. So we've got this same sequence going on time and again, but Marcus is on the front foot in every part of this play pattern, and eventually the Sneasler takes too much damage on the switch in for Jorge's side, unless Jorge's able to find that small window in which he's able to get damage down onto either the Incineroar or the Sneasler. Pick out the Feraligatr, try to knock out the Clefable. That's the other way to break this play pattern, is actually just knock out the supportive pieces for Jorge. But it's fake out going into the Clefable and the Dragon Claw going in. But it's going to pick up the big KO onto that Sneasler. But this does open up a little bit of a door now, right? Because there is no fresh fake out coming in from Marcus. So although Marcus has broken the pattern from Jorge, Jorge now gets a little bit of momentum to try to break Marcus's pattern.
Yeah, and that's very important.
Be able to pick up the knockout here.
Ooh, but a switch out. Jorge not wanting to commit just yet. King Gambit, the chosen one, brings itself onto the field, but Charizard going on the defensive. Sneasler, it does go for the Dire Claw. It's not going to be able to pick up the KO. We're going to have to see if there's any sort of cheeky status. Not the case, but the Moonblast hoping to put the Charizard within range. And Marcus now once again having the advantage.
Oh, this is something that Jorge can take advantage of.
As we see the redirection from the Clefable wants to make sure that it does best position itself right now. It will be taking one for the team, leaving Jorge down to his final 2 Pokemon. But the question is, there's Choppleberry on this Kingambit. Is it going to be able to do something substantial enough to further Jorge's positioning? Because this is really tough. It nearly actually goes down to that close combat, but what's it going to do? Who's it going to target? Surely it's going to be the Charizard Mega X. You need to be able to get rid of it, but can you from this range? No, 48 hit point survival.
But it does open up the Sucker Punch on the next turn. And I think this is the opening that Jorge needed to make. Yes, tall ask against a player as experienced as Marcus.
Yeah, it is, and we do see Jorge opting to go for the defensive Kingambit Protect, but the Dragon Claw outspeed and raw KO from the Charizard ensures there is no path for Jorge to be able to come back from in this game 1. Side of the field, purely from the speed interactions.
Sucker Punch going into the Charizard is enough to take the KO there, but the Sneasler is going to be able to act next. Close combat, knocking out this Kingambit, and Marcus taking this game 1 in a pretty commanding fashion. Just feels like Marcus was going through the motions there, just having the speed advantage on is definitely possible. Then Jorge could be in trouble.
Here we go. I feel like there might be an Aerodactyl as well. It would change things up. But like you said, it seems like Marcus is trying to call out. Jorge goes for the Mega Floette mode as well. Spot on analysis there.
Maybe provide some openings, thinking that the Charizard is not in the game, and maybe there's the I was going to say maybe the Mega Feraligatr's in the back, but yeah, that's a Mega Aerodactyl. It's probably not.
That is indeed. It would be quite wild if we did see a solo non-Mega Dragon Dance Feraligatr going for shenanigans, but not right now, at least visible to us. We've got the double commit of the Mega Evolution 1 on either side of our trainers. Side of the field, fake out into the Kingambit, make sure that it cannot threaten a potential one-shot onto that Mega Floette with the Iron Head. Tailwind now activated. And the Marcus's Floette is going to have to get a lot of traction right now if it wants to be able to essentially compete against this Tailwind shift.
That would easily be enough to pick up the KO on the Sneasler. So now Jorge is forcing Marcus to react.
Yeah, and bringing the Incineroar in to be able to avoid that KO is quite crucial, but it's at the cost of the Kingambit now having its attack bolstered via the Define ability, having +1 of its attack. Although the Tailwind is still available, Iron Head, it's going to be hitting resisted onto the Incineroar, but it deals so much damage. Very respectable. Proccing the Incineroar leftovers, which, by the way, I don't know why we haven't discussed that, because that is a very cool choice.
Is kept safe for a little bit later, trying to put pressure on the Aerodactyl so there can't be a Tailwind later.
Okay.
And Jorge recognizing that, bringing it out.
Very respectable whilst going for the Protect with the Kingambit. Obviously being threatened by that Sneasler fake out, trying to get ahead and disrupt the Aerodactyl. Close combat, trying to double commit there. Obviously, we know that there's no Protect on the Mega Aerodactyl, so it's pretty free in order to be able to essentially guarantee some sort of damage onto that slot whilst being able to predict the obvious Protect from the Kingambit.
Right, and now the Clefable's coming in, the Kingambit's a lot more safe to go on the offensive here, of trying to stall out that Tailwind environment, but two slow Pokemon in Tailwind means that the Sneasler is going to be able to go first, but not able to pick up the knockout this turn.
Yeah, Moonblast focus into it. Will be dealing about 50% of damage. Iron Head following up at +1 is enough to finally get rid of it. However, it allows the Incineroar an opening. It can go for the Flare Blitz. It will pick up the KO onto the Kingambit, and Tailwind turns are approaching the end of their duration. However, we've now got Aerodactyl available for free switching. Sneasler is no longer available, and there's an Incineroar that currently is locked in on the other side of the field and has to switch out forcefully.
In the back for Jorge.
I just had a thought, Ben. Given the Pokemon that Jorge has brought, there's a good chance that we may be seeing a Sizzle in the back.
Be able to hit that Super effective damage, but here's some damage that the Floette's going to be getting ready to go for with its helping hand from Incineroar.
All right, Rock Slide, not quite enough to pick up the KO onto the Incineroar, but it needs to flinch the Floette in order to be able to survive. No flinch, helping hand, dazzling gleam, more than enough damage to pick up a raw double KO, leaving Jorge down to their final Pokemon versus Marcus's 3. This is insane. The way that Marcus has been able to manipulate the board is so telling. Sneasler on the other side of the field remaining dead.
This is a citrus berry Sneasler.
True.
This is a citrus, so it's bulkier than other. Okay, the Sinistcha's come back in.
Cool.
Yeah, this is. Okay, look. It looked like it could have been doing something, but Sneasler is a Pokemon unless Diaclaw does Diaclaw things.
I guess
Sneasler is unlikely to be able to break.
They need a sleep.
There's the Diaclaw on the Switch, but no status condition coming out from there.
Just exquisite resource management from Marcus's side. The Sinistcha Brain is so crucial here. Mega Charizard obviously being left in favor of the Floette. Even if the Diaclaw does get a sleep, it does get a paralysis. Okay. The Mega Floette is just open to go for the damage, at least guaranteeing, most likely, depending on where the Citrus Berry will proc, a 2-shot, and it seems to be the case. Citrus Berry recovering, but it dealt too much damage.
Reduced the risk of that happening. There's the Sinistcha going out. The Intimidate from the Incineroar coming in, stopping the Floette going down to a Diaclaw, and that's a critical hit.
It can. Oh, there was no protect from the Floette, so this may well actually be up for grabs, but it's not the case. Dazzling Gleam picks up the KO and grants Marcus his Phase 2 progression here at Turin.
Congratulations, Marcus, stamping your ticket into Phase 2 of the Turin Special Championships. Look at the smile on his face. We're happy for you as well, Marcus.